Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. Ukrainian armed forces have launched a counter-offensive in the Kherson region. So far, there is very little information being provided about the military action, although Ukrainian media report explosions and fighting near the city. The Ukrainian army remained largely tight-lipped on details of its counter-offensive to retake southern Ukraine, but said it had rendered key bridges in the occupied areas unusable. A spokeswoman for the Ukraine's military command south said in a news briefing on Tuesday that Russia had tried to replace the bridges over the river Dnipro in the Kherson region with pontoons. Those bridges that are considered the main transport arteries over the Dnipro River are rendered unusable for heavy military equipment. That's why the enemy and the occupational regime are trying to install alternative crossings. However, the geography and the current of the river, especially in this region, allows them to install pontoons only there, where the bridges are located. As of now, they can't send reinforcements from the left bank of the river Dnipro. That's why they are creating an illusion of sending in reinforcements by relocating army units from one settlement to another. That's how they draw a picture for themselves of reinforcing their troops. We're saying that the hottest news is yet to come. As of now, active combat is continuing, and this combat needs silence. Earlier, Ukraine said its ground forces had gone on the offensive in the south for the first time, after a period of striking Russian supply lines, in particular bridges across the strategically important river Dnipro and ammunition dumps. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged Russian troops on Monday to flee for their lives after his forces launched an offensive to retake southern Ukraine. But Moscow said that it had halted the attack in its tracks and inflicted heavy losses on Kiev. International Atomic Energy Agency Director General Grossi has arrived in Kiev and is heading to the Zaporizhia region. He is to inspect and assess any damage to Europe's largest nuclear plant. Grossi met President Volodymyr Zelensky, who called for the complete transfer of the control over the power plant to Ukraine. It is very important for us, the pressing demands of the IAEA, of the United Nations, and the demands that are supported by all the European and the world leaders concerning the immediate demilitarization of the plant, the removal of all Russia's military units with explosive materials, with any weapons, the liberation of our plant and the creation of a demilitarized zone inside and around Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, and the complete transfer of the plant to the control of the Ukrainian state. Only in this way can we eliminate any risks regarding atomic energy.
Це розуміє наше суспільство. Я хочу, щоб це розуміли окупанти.
Ukraine accused Russia of deliberately shelling a corridor that the IAEA officials would need to use to reach the plant in an effort to get them to travel via Russian-annexed Crimea instead. There was no immediate response from Moscow. The nuclear power plant has been occupied by Russian forces since the first days of the war in Ukraine, but is still managed by Ukrainian staff and connected to Ukraine's power grid. Russia and Ukraine have traded accusations of shelling in the vicinity of the plant, fueling fears of a radiation disaster. IAEA said its inspectors would assess physical damage to the plant, evaluate the conditions in which staff are working, and determine functionality and safety and security systems. It would also perform urgent safeguarding activities, a reference to keeping track of nuclear material. Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki met the heads of governments of Denmark, Estonia, Finland and Latvia, the President of Lithuania and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in Copenhagen. The summit of the Baltic Sea countries was devoted to dealing with the consequences of the Russian use of energy supplies as a weapon. Governments want to stop rising energy prices and efficiently use the potential of renewable energy sources in the Baltic Sea region.
As we stand here together today, we are the front line of European energy security, and we are sharing a huge potential for offshore wind. We have agreed to build an even closer cooperation on energy and green transition. We need to put all necessary instruments to use to free us from Putin's gas and energy. But as long as we depend on fossil fuels, we will be at a risk, all of us. So we have to speed up the green transition. We have agreed to increase offshore wind in the Baltic Sea sevenfold by 2030. That is more than the current wind offshore capacity in the whole of EU today. We have to integrate our energy systems closer together and step up also the political cooperation. And that is why I have invited all of you today.
I just wanted to make a couple of comments linking or connecting some dots on this picture. What is today the symbol of energy system in the context of the Baltic Sea. These are probably for many people Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipes. These are the two pipes which enabled Putin to attack Ukraine. I'm absolutely certain that without those two pipes, he would not dare attacking Ukraine, because there would not have been another route to transfer his gas to Europe many years before he dared to attack Ukraine for the first time 2014, and then on the 24th of February this year. So the real price for cheap gas, cheap energy, as some people would have hoped for this, is the blood of Ukraine. And this is the challenge of nowadays. We cannot talk about energy transformation as a separate challenge.
European Union foreign ministers are likely to agree to suspend a visa facilitation agreement with Moscow and make Russians wait longer and pay more for their visas, diplomats said on Tuesday, while the bloc remains split over an outright EU travel ban. EU defence and foreign ministers met in Prague, where the Czech Republic is leading the work of the European Union. Poland was represented by the Minister of Defence Mariusz Błaszczak and the Minister of Foreign Affairs Zbigniew Rau. Once again, Russian aggression against Ukraine was the main topic of discussion. The meeting was also attended by senior officials from the United Nations, NATO and the European Parliament, as well as Ukrainian Defence Minister Alexei Reznikov. European Union defence and foreign ministers met in Prague, where the Czech Republic is leading the work of the European Union. Poland was represented by the Minister of Defence Mariusz Błaszczak and the Minister of Foreign Affairs Zbigniew Rau. Once again, Russian aggression against Ukraine was the main topic of discussion. The meeting was also attended by senior officials of the United Nations, NATO and the European Parliament, as well as Ukrainian Defence Minister Alexei Reznikov. Germany and France warned it would be counterproductive to ban ordinary Russians, a move advocated by Kiev in response to Russia's invasion and backed by some European members. And the suspension of the agreement was a compromise that could be reached at the ministers' two-day meeting in Prague.
Well, from the Finnish side, we have noticed that now when the air connections have been cut, there's more and more this kind of tourist route through Helsinki-Vantaa airport. And we are not looking that very favorable in the way in the situation when there is a war in Europe, Russian aggression against Ukraine, and we have been advocating this postponement of this visa facilitation agreement that will hopefully be discussed here. And we have also done our national decision to limit the amount of the tourist visas to 10% of the current situation. We are discussing about the visa issues and probably the postponement of the visa facilitation agreement, and we hope that there is a unity on this issue here in the meeting.
Well, first of all, we do expect a serious decision and discussion about the way how we are going to handle visas, EU visas for Russian citizens. We will insist that we discuss the option of banning issuing visas to Russian citizens because of security reasons. We have had 30 years of issuing visas to Russians, hoping that this country is going to change. Actually, the country went worse. About Iron Curtain, I think that this is not what EU has put. This is the Russian Federation that has put the Iron Curtain already through its actions against Ukraine.
What we want is very easy to express because it's only one word, which is peace. So I really do hope that here, when we enter this room, we will concentrate on decisions which will bring peace, and we will not be faced with any kind of proposals which would escalate the war. So peace is our number one target, peace as soon as possible. And on your question, I don't think that the visa ban is an appropriate decision under the current circumstances. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Poland will apply to the European Commission for disbursement of funds from the National Reconstruction Plan in late October, early November. According to Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki, the prospect of the disbursement of funds should be approached with scepticism. The European Commission said on Tuesday it supported the European Union Council's decision to approve Poland's recovery plan after 4 associations of European judges asked the European Union Court to annul it. We take note of this legal action against the decision of the Council to approve the Polish Recovery and Resilience. Commission spokeswoman Verla Nieutz told reporters in Brussels. The Commission stands fully behind its proposal to the Council to approve the plan, she said, and added that talks with the Polish authorities about Poland's recovery plan are still continuing. Poland's KPO has been approved by the European Commission and the Council of the European Union, comprising European economy and finance ministers. However, the tentative approval sets a number of conditions or milestones which, according to the European Commission, have not all been met, and consequently, no money has yet been transferred to Warsaw. In May, Poland adopted new legislation abolishing a disciplinary chamber for judges at the Polish Supreme Court, which had been at the heart of a dispute between Brussels and Warsaw. The country stands to receive €23.9 billion in grants and €11.5 billion in cheap loans. Nieutz said that the European Commission and Poland still need to reach agreement on a number of additional legal documents to achieve the milestones in the Polish KPO. However, she did not specify which documents were meant. She added that Poland would not be able to submit a preliminary application for disbursement until the document she mentioned had been signed. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, have a good night and a better tomorrow.